Alright, so I'm going to try and talk through this with a quick video because it's a lot easier to just show you than to try and type something up. If you look at this, this is an overlay that somebody installed and then yanked out of a pinball machine. Now, why would you install an overlay and then take it out? So if you look up here at this overlay closer, you can see it's like pulling around all the different posts. You can see it's all lumpy and whatnot there. I am quite certain that when whoever put this together installed it, they installed it out perfectly. Now you can see that the art on this is, the colors are a little bit off from where they should be. I've got a real 8-ball deluxe over here, and it just looks oversaturated on the other side. This green's a different color than what's on this real one. I did an attack from Mars. You saw the pictures. I obviously wasn't very happy with it. And on mine in particular, like I said, it was missing art. Now, I have had an overlay on a pinball machine that I thought looked gorgeous. However, it was an old Flash Gordon, where at the time the only thing available was an overlay. But this person overlaid it and then clear coated it. And that was awesome. I personally like hardtops. I've never done one, but the results that I've seen are fairly good. I've played a few at PinFest, and I have seen I've seen the results, and they mostly look pretty good. The caveat that I'll say is at the pinball show this past year, I saw a blackout. The blackout had an overlay. It looked gorgeous, but if you looked at it at an angle, you could see that it was sort of lifting up in the upper right-hand corner with like a bubble around it. And talking to the guy who did it and looking at videos online, you'll see two schools of thought on it. One is sand everything down, like the whole playfield, with progressively smoother bits of sandpaper, then clear it, and then apply the overlay, and the results will be beautiful. You can also half-ass it and just sand down the insert parts, and it will turn out okay, but it won't be nearly as nice. Now, I will say that I have installed one overlay and I have done one playfield swap. And I would say that the overlay is about half the work of a playfield swap, because remember, with an overlay or an outside edge hardtop, you have to take everything off the top side of a playfield. Now, Black Knight shouldn't be too terrible, or Black Knight 2000, but it would still be a lot of work. I would estimate that I spent maybe 20 hours doing my full playfield swap when I did my Attack from Mars, and when I did the overlay, it probably took me 12 hours to do it. But my preference would be, if you're going to do this, a new playfield, okay, it would be $800, $900, $1,000 for a brand new CPR one. You might be able to find a used one at a decent price. I know at PinFest there was one for sale in the thread for maybe $200 or $300 that looked pretty nice. But unless you put something brand new in, it's never going to look perfect. But if it's something that's a long-term keeper for you, then yeah, playfield swap would be the way to do it. It's not that much more work, but if you're asking about an overlay versus a hardtop, a hardtop is way, way better in my opinion. I would never consider a machine that had an overlay put in it that was not clear coated on top, because look at this around the posts. This turned pretty crappy pretty quickly for somebody. But a hardtop, I would not be scared of at all. I briefly owned a Firepower hardtop that I had owned at a pinball show a grand total of 1 day before somebody bought it from me. But I like hardtops. You will run into people that say, "Oh, it doesn't play the same," blah 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 blah. But it's just fine. It's like the equivalent of playing on a pinball machine with a playfield protector. It's not rolling over wood or a clear coat. It's rolling over plastic, but I think it's just great. And looking at the quality of a hardtop versus an overlay like this, the hardtop is infinitely better than an overlay in my opinion. Still not as good as a new playfield, but there's a huge difference in the amount of work between the well, like 12 versus 20, an extra 8 hours to do a full swap. Plus, you're going to end up doing little things like having to replace all the T-nuts on the bottom side, the whatever things hold in the pops, whatever you want to call those, the little wire guides, stuff like that. But there you go. There's too much info about it.